Hey there. I'm here to talk to you about my favorite RPG down bad simulator, business simulator, and school simulator all in one game. And that game is Yakuza Like a Dragon.
カレブデジタル
So Yakuza Like a Dragon is a game that was literally gifted to me by a good friend. That friend knows who he is. Thank you very much. And he told me to give it a try. I had never played any of the other Yakuza games. This is like the seventh one, I believe. And so I ended up trying the game, and it was it's really good, really good. So the story revolves around the main character Ichiban Kasuga, who, for reasons, ends up in prison for 18 years for murder. And when he gets out, the man is down bad. And when I mean down bad, I mean the downest of bad. You can't get more down bad than where Ichiban is when you really like start this game. You just real down bad. And it's all a story about getting up good by the end of this. But the ride in between is amazing. And this is an RPG, so you do have a party. And who is on this ride to get you from down bad to up good? A few people, some that I will not spoil. But to name a few, a security guard who's also down bad, a hobo who's your mage who he a hobo, of course he's down bad. And then you have the head hostess of a club, and she's not really down bad, but like she down, but not down bad. But y'all all come together for the common goal of being up good. And just going by those characters, you should know that this isn't your average RPG. The story here is very, 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 very real and serious, and there are some themes here that get real deep and you get real emotional. This is one of the games where I almost cried watching it. Um, but in the in between time, there are some really, really wacky side quests and humor, and they do a really good job of mixing the two together. Your usual like few hours of gameplay of Yakuza usually goes like this. Guys, I know that we just killed a murderer, but we aren't murderers like him. We were doing it to do the right thing. So now let's go back to the boss and tell him what happened. Hey, sir, would you be interested in selling do-rags for me? Do-rags? I mean, sure, I've got some time. And then in between all of this, like every time you do one of these weird side quests, you end up in a fight for some reason, which usually kind of goes like this. Hey man, I see you're selling do-rags on our turf. This is a no do-rag zone. No do-rag zone? I was just doing what the guy told me to. I don't care what someone told you. Get 'em, boys! While, like, a lot of the side quests are silly like that, as I said, they're not a bad thing. And a lot of them are very involved. Some of them will have you becoming the CEO of a company, or going back to school, or collecting Sujimon. I'll let you play the game to understand what that is. But there's a lot of side missions that make this game very, very rich and full. I finished it in about 80 hours. I probably could have finished it in about 50 if I hadn't done side missions, but like I dedicated a good 30 hours to just side stuff and seeing how these stories play out. Because some of the stories, even the silly ones, they have some heart to them. So by the time you finish it, you're involved in these side characters' lives. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of Persona, which is probably why I love it. That being said, the oddity of the game is what makes the game so good. It's so good to go from these very, very serious moments to something that's just very, very chill or silly. It breaks the heaviness of the game because again, the game is heavy. I finished playing it and I don't want to play another heavy RPG for a while because of it. It's not because it's bad, it's because it's that good. With all that being said about all the praise, there are some negatives to this game. One gripe is just that you can tell that this is their first time making a turn-based RPG. Just some of the systems seem a little weird. Like everybody moves around, even though it's a RPG where you kind of like want to plan out where each move is coming from. So it messes up AoE moves sometimes, or sometimes you'll be in the way of something and it kind of throws off the whole situation. If I had a little bit more control of my positioning, then I feel like I would be happier, but everybody just moves around aimlessly and I'm just kind of not with it when I'm playing an RPG. Another one that's that's a bit of an issue is the dubbed voice acting, because I listened to the dub. I didn't feel like reading. This isn't an anime. While the dub is amazing for the main characters, them side characters a little, they ain't that great. And sometimes it'll take you out of the game, but sometimes they're so hilarious that you don't even really care, to be honest.
You're Mr. Masochist, right?
So you've heard of me before?
Mostly just rumors from a fetish club. Anyway, I'm Kasuga.
Kasuga-san, is it? I'm Soda Makinohara. Most people simply call me Mr. Masochist.
Uh-huh. So why were you headbutting a tree just now?
Because I want to feel.
And those are my thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon. If you liked what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like it, dislike, comment, and don't subscribe, I guess. And if you want to get more of me and my voice and actually just some really chill vibes, I also stream on Twitch on the weekends and maybe during the week, but you gotta catch me. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.
カレブデジタル